The next CV that we have on the request queue is the Ark Royal. So we can check that one out. So, for the upgrades, Ark Royal is gonna... Well, first off, the Ark Royal is a Tier 6 British Premium CV. She has excellent throw weight, but she has lower tier slow planes. So in general, bombs are for DDs, rockets for cruisers, torps for battleships. And they can kind of like bridge, you know, you can torp battleships and cruisers, you can rocket cruisers and battleships, and, well, not really DDs anymore. But bombs are exceptional for interacting with DDs because it's a cluster bomb, not a carpet bomb. For the first 2 slots, we take the airplane stuff. For slot 3, we take additional speed on the torpedoes because I don't care about secondaries. I don't need additional attack time. And health on the torpedoes because this is what's going to interact with battleships, which are going to have the most AA for the tier. For the commander, more faster, healthier, base 9-point build for every CV in the game. Additional throughput on the torps because this is what's going to interact with battleships and they're going to have torpedo protection. And then speed and fire chance on the bombs because we're going to use the bombs significantly to try to root out destroyers or maybe bomb into cruisers. And lastly, some extra engine boost is always nice. In terms of flags, no flags. Whoa. When I do the flight instructor streams, I talk a lot. And for those that aren't familiar with the channel, that happen to be new, or maybe those that came over with the raid, if you have a question, feel free to ask questions. I talk about mechanics and teach tactics and all sorts of stuff. If you ask a question and I don't see it, don't be afraid to ask it a second time. I don't take offense. Just sometimes I get pulled into the game or sometimes I'm in the middle of something, so I might miss it. But I will try to get to it in the end. Alright, so for the Ark Royal, we're going to have to pay attention to speed, because that's one of the big weaknesses of the Ark Royal. She is very slow. Also, her detection is terrible. You can see it's quite large on the map. In a clan battle, it's even worse because the maps are smaller for clan battles. So, there's 2 destroyers. We'll start out with bombs. Maybe we'll trip across one. But we're going to do what I call cruise control, and we're going to make a really serious effort to pay attention to how we do it. What is cruise control? We're going to run the CV up to, or the planes up to maximum speed and then let it coast. And we're not going to touch the throttle until we get it low enough that we feel comfortable and we can move it back up again. Why are we going to do that? So we took the little plus bomber speed, so we have 105 knots on this. So we could just speed up and just burn all our boost to get across the map. But I like to have boost when I'm going to interact with a target. So we're going to start to speed up and go up to the maximum speed, which is I think 142. 143, and then we're going to let go. We're regenning, etc. And we could let it go all the way down to the bottom and see if we still have a little extra speed. It's 105. So we're up to 111, so technically we don't lose speed as fast as we gain it. And I didn't go up to 103 there, or 143 there. So by doing this, on average, we're traversing the map at like 120, 125, but we're not losing boost for it. Which means when we interact with a destroyer, when we interact with a cruiser, we have all the boost that we could ever need to do that, rather than just blowing an engine boost consumable. Okay. So our planes are not particularly mobile. Maybe we'll happen to trip across a DD here. Let me start the attack. We'll fly up over the black here. And this is going to be a cluster bomb. We do actually see a Minakaze. 4 hits, we got a little bit of damage. Not incredible, but it's something. We do get to see that Minakaze, which is pretty neat. So at this point, we're under the guns of AA, but we have lots of boost left, and we have a boost consumable if we want to use it. So let's look for the Minakaze and see if we can make something happen there, because we do have this cluster bomb effect, which could be super useful going against the DD. Sadly, we caught fighters. We'll see if that gets us anything, and then we'll lose planes. Yeah, so not much. Sometimes you roll high. Sometimes you end up doing significant amounts of damage. You can do up to 6,000 damage on a drop. And if you look, he's got 10,000 health. Like, that's a huge hit if it lands. But in general, you're just going to drop the bombs and hope something happens. So let's make sure that we're cruise controlling well. Go up to maximum speed and let it coast. I think with all the ships we have over here, that we've got a decent ability to commit with this group. So that we're not just all the way in the back. Alright, so 136 and let it coast. And it looks like this Königsberg is going to fall under the guns of a whole bunch of ships. And maybe even hit Torps, which would be great. Nope, looks like that missed. So he's committed in. So he's got 2 ships farming him down. Eventually more ships as well. We're probably going to have to deal with this Minakaze. Otherwise he's going to move over and probably torp our Piotr. And we can do something that British CVs can do, which is to turn and retain their accuracy. That should be a kill. So he's dead. We'll go in on the Devonshire now. Now these planes, again, super sluggish. Super sluggish. Alright. So we're about to lose the one. Don't know if I let enough. Maybe. If he turns hard, he probably dinks that first torpedo. It might not come active. Turned out it did. We get some good damage there. I don't know if we get a second drop. We might get a single torpedo into him.
We're hull below the waterline. We're flooding quickly.
That might hit. It might not have been let enough. I don't know. Let's look for the Minakaze before he sneaks up and kills our Piotr. And let's keep with the
autopilot mode enabled.
Let's keep with the fuck train of our allies over here. Yeah, some people recognize me. It's a thing. The Canik guy? Oh, I guess it's him. So maybe he'll try to snipe me. If he's trying to snipe me, then love you too. There you go. We are detected, so the Minakaze is around here somewhere. Hopefully he's not going to dunk our battleship, who is currently with full health. That might block his way in on there. And he probably just comes in on us again, right?
Fighter airborne.
Nope, he's going on the Piotr.
Problem solved, sir.
Or not. He is. I don't know where the Minakaze is. He's got to be somewhere. I just don't know where the hell the somewhere is. As long as he doesn't get power dunked. Oh, he's in smoke. Okay, cool. Well, now I know. So knowing is half the battle. That fighter's probably been there for about 15 seconds. Dropped mine.
Our team has taken the lead.
Destination reached.
I don't know. She's probably got another 20-30 seconds on that.
Autopilot mode
Koenig
enabled.
could take shots at us, but there's kind of an island in the way. I don't really want to be bunkered behind the islands, per se. This goes down soon-ish. Oh, ha! They latched onto the Dutch airstrike. That's awesome. Okay, cool. That's a good thing to know. Dutch airstrikes can latch fighters. Ooh, I'll have to file that one away for clan battle stuff. So if we get a kick tune or whatever that's got the airstrike consumable, that could actually allow CVs a way in on something that's fightered. Let's see, we might have to light the Minakaze.
Enemy battleship foundered.
Minakaze probably kills this, but he's between 2 battleships, so I don't know. They might deal with him. We'll work on the Normandy for now. See if we can turn in on this.
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
I mean, maybe we can make something happen there, right? 3 and a bomb. Minakaze has some health. He's probably going for the New York. Probably kills the New York. Might go down. Maybe. Guns are not super accurate at this tier.
Autopilot mode enabled.
Sure, we can do that. He's, yeah, dead to me, dead to somebody else. He's dead to something. Be nice if we had more torpedoes. We do! We'll go back for the Normandy for the Fuso. Torpedo's going to be our primary interaction tool for battleships. And let's make sure that we're not throwing boost away for free. And then we can try to stay relevant over here. As a CV player, you live off of salt. I know some people that play like that. I used to play EVE Online, and in EVE Online, people like to, you know, fuck over other people and enjoy the hell out of it. That's not really my gig. I don't play for the enemy teams having a bad day. I play for helping my team win. I want to protect my battleships from DDs. I want to help my flank that's locked down by a Des Moines that nobody has shots on because the Des Moines is stuck behind a rock and people don't know how to get around to interact with him. You know, I want to be able to help my team progress in the match, or if my team fucks up, you know, try to be able to provide some kind of support to help them overcome the obstacles that they've ended up dealing with. So sadly we ate some flak there, ate some more. I think that might be okay, and hopefully we can keep turning away from the Trentos AA, because the Trentos AA is not shit. It is long, it's short range. Cool. Do we get another drop here, please? We're too close for Fluso flak, and the Trento
Waypoint reached.
is still shooting at us. 2, maybe 3, depends on how that turns out. Bombs for the Ohotnik? Ohotnik's almost dead. We have torps? We do not. Set fires. Realistically, we're living on torpedoes here. For Fuso or for the Queen. So, we'll start moving forward. These guys are falling back, which is fine, but they're losing assets to claim space with. So we can just keep working on that. Hey, Snake on me. You also play CVs because you can be able to have a decent damage game when your team is busy sniff. Alright. Yeah, one of the things that CVs do is if you're in what is it? If you're in a cruiser, you're very reliant on what the destroyers are going to give you. You're very reliant on what the CVs are going to give you, because you're going to play off that information that they're providing you. If you're in a battleship, you're reliant on what the CVs are going to give you. You're reliant on what the destroyers are going to give you. You're reliant on what the cruisers are going to give you. Destroyers are much more, you know, in control of their own fate, because they are the front line. Carriers are more in control of their own fate, because again, they're kind of the front line in terms of their plane interactions. Their hull is not, and they're not always in the front line, but they're visiting the front line frequently. Queen should go down. We can work on the other battleship.
We've destroyed an enemy battleship.
What's the difference in playstyle between random and ranked for CVs? You have a high win rate, and randoms tend to do pretty well, but in ranked I always struggle for some reason. Target selection is extremely important in ranked because you have less players on the team. So if you remove a linchpin, you know, if there's a cruiser that's just, oh man, he's in the wrong spot, and you get rid of him and it's 5v6 or like 5v4, you have 5 players that are going to be dumping into 4, and realistically, like, the damage you guys are doing is higher. In a ranked match where you've only got 7 people, one of us who's a CV, if you kill somebody, then it's 3v2.
Victory is in sight.
3 players take longer to kill a ship than 4 or 5 players do. 3 players take longer to establish dominance than 4 to 5 players do. So it's like, it's just a thing, you know, it's part of learning. But in general, because you have less players, everybody's individual impact matters more. So you need to be like trying to make the highest influence plays that you can. And that's not to say that it's easy.
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
It's nice to see Hops. Yeehaw. Although he says, why are you seal clubbing while he's down here in a tier 6? But actually, I'll be honest, players at tier 6 aren't bad. It's not like tier 10 players are magically the greatest players in the game. Tier 6 has people that can do some excellent stuff. There are probably newer players, sure, but it
Autopilot
doesn't mean
mode
that they're
enabled.
inexperienced. Or, incapable, I should say. Okay. Ranked ships more likely to move together and overlap AA? In a carrier situation, yeah, probably. And the higher you go up in ranked, the more likely that you're encountering people with more game knowledge and skill. That's not always the case. Sometimes you get people that really just don't know or care. But in general, if you're playing ranked, it's because you give a shit. You play the game a lot, right? That torp might miss. No, that hits. Well, I don't know who it was that was upset, so I can't send him a message.